Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Dave and Sports Convo, and this episode 2 of my podcast is I'm doing my power ranking reveal and doing a synopsis of all 32 teams and breakdown analysis, how I feel about them and why I put them in their rankings. And I will go from bottom to top, 32 all the way up, leading the one. Give all fair credit to all teams because as a Lions fan, I totally understand how it feels to be on the bottom sometimes and not get covered, and that's what I'm trying to stop here today. I would really hope and I can't wait for my live stream to go well tomorrow, and hope you guys tune in to check out no matter how it goes. 6 p.m. Eastern time frame, right before the Amazon kickoff game for Thursday night kickoff with Green Bay versus Lions at Green Bay. Very excited for that. I'm already gonna tell you the Lions are gonna win that game. That's how I feel about it going into it. But other than that, let's go straight to it. Let's go right into the rankings. I'm gonna start with my ranking of 32. There's a couple teams that haven't got a win yet, but I broke it down based on the opponents they have win against. So my first team I will announce will be the Carolina Panthers, unfortunately, as they have not had a win yet. Bryce Young may be coming back. It's his rookie year. It's going to be the development year. We already see how it is, and based on how the start compared to the other rookies' teams, it's going to be rough. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, he comes back next week. Moving on, we have the Chicago Bears, which I'll tell you all is a dumpster fire, as I've been saying. We still don't have a report on the defensive coordinator, as I'm here with you now. I wish I knew more why he resigned. We'll see what the reason is. Also, I hope he's okay, and I wish his family well. Of course, I hope it's not something of serious notion of that. But otherwise, their offense is terrible. Justin Fields is even complaining about the coaching staff in a recent interview. And yeah, they haven't shown much. The Trayvon Edmonds is the only signing they have that seems like a spark on the team. But otherwise, as a whole, the team looks terrible. And as the weeks to come, we'll see how they fare. Yeah, then moving on, we got the Denver Broncos as they just had a historic loss to the Dolphins, but put up 20 points. Give them credit, even though they gave up 70. It never happened in my lifetime. I've never seen that. But yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, so Denver, well, I gave them slightly above the Bears and Panthers because they actually, at least they got blown up by the best team in the league, as you'll see as I'm hinting to. But yeah, I will rank them at 30. Now, for rank 29, I'm putting the Minnesota Vikings as they just lost at home to the Los Angeles Chargers in a crazy shootout. It's unfortunate. Minnesota has not won a game yet, but they've been in every game this year. But yeah, they're the last team on this list that still doesn't have a win, so I put them at 29. Now, for 28, I have the New York Jets, as they had only their one win in the first week of the season against the Buffalo Bills, which was a great win for the team after a historic loss for the quarterback Aaron Rodgers. But otherwise, they still haven't won a game since then, and I don't know when they will win a game. So they're at my bottom of all my teams that have at least one win. Now, for the 27th ranked team, I have the Tennessee Titans, as they just came off a loss at Cleveland. It was terrible. Feel bad for them. The offense, their most significant piece on there was DeAndre Hopkins with 46 yards, maybe 48, still under 50 yards total for the game. It was not a pretty sight. Derrick Henry could not get the ball moving, not enough opportunities to even get the ball moving. But yeah, it was bad. So that's why I have Tennessee at 27. We'll see how they fare in the future matchups. Otherwise, Ryan Tannehill, hopefully, is the only reason I give him respect with Ackerman over the New York Jets, if anyone was wondering what the difference between the two. Now, for 26, I have the Las Vegas Raiders, that they just came off a loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was actually a great game. I felt like Sunday night, that was actually a good battle, but they still lost. Devontae Adams had a great game, over 13 catches, I believe, for 20 targets. It was fantastic, and over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. But yeah, the Raiders. That's why and they have Josh Jacobs, so they have some bright pieces on there. But yeah, I put them at 26, so just slightly over the Titans. Now for my 25th ranked team, I just put the Cardinals, even though they just beat the Cowboys in an unexpected win that I definitely called, and hopefully you can check that out on my previous week 3 pick'ems. And it was very, very exciting for the Cardinals to win off that. But I still have to rank them here based on the talent of the team and future matchups that they have to. And they're NFC West, no matter what. They have to play the Niners soon, and I'll pick the Niners in that. So I'm going to stick them at 25. Now for 24, we have the New York Giants, who just beat the Cardinals in the week prior to under a deficit that they overcame on offense, which was great under Daniel Jones' tutelage. And so that's why I have them over here, because it was actually a great comeback win. But other than that, they haven't shown much. We'll see how the future weeks fare for them. But yeah, other than that, New York Giants, I'm going to put them at 24. Now, at 23, I'm going to put the Texans after their first win against a rival, the Jacksonville Jaguars. It was great to see. I thought it was a fantastic win. But now, this might be the shocker part of my rankings, but I have Jacksonville above them, even though the same record, and they just lost to the Texans. The Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe, had a more impressive win, because Texans their only win is the Jacksonville Jaguars, while Jacksonville Jaguars' other win I believe, was a better team overall. And so, yeah, that's how I fared them together. But both overall, I still view them as the same teams, even though one has the better quarterback. But the fact that Houston beat Jacksonville at Jacksonville is a great feat, and we'll see how they fare in the weeks to come. So for now, let's get back to we have ranked 21. We have the New England Patriots with their first win of the year, beating the New York Jets, as I have them ranked at 28. That's not impressive, even though you would think, why is that above every other team? Well, hey, they overcame the New York Jets defense in an impressive fashion, and so I actually believe in the quarterback play of Mac Jones for the future games to come with the Bill Belichick acumen compared to all the teams I just named. Robert Saleh, we'll see how he goes. I could go down the list. Houston, DeMeco Ryans, he's his rookie year. I love him, but I can't say he's better than Bill Belichick at the moment. But yeah, moving on. Now for rank 20, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, that they just came off their victory against the Los Angeles Rams on Monday Night Football at home, 19-16. It was a great game to watch. Joe Burrow willed that team to victory. Jamar Chase had his career game with 12 receptions and over 100 yards. And it was great to see. They had a great game. The defense was putting on great pressure from the defensive line on. Even one of my favorite defensive backs, Daxton Hill, had an amazing game. Ooh. Sorry about that. Amazing game. And I was just too excited there. Daxton Hill he's going to light the league up. Watch out. Cincinnati knows how to make them defensive backs shine. So now moving on, I put at rank 19, I put the Los Angeles Rams above Cincinnati. I know Cincinnati just beat the Los Angeles Rams, but the Los Angeles Rams had an impressive win over Seattle Seahawks, and a rival team, which, again, the Cincinnati Bengals, their first win is the Rams. So I will put the Rams above the Cincinnati because their sole win is against a better competition team of the Seattle Seahawks. Other than that, it's all Ryan Matthew Stafford, and hopefully Cooper Kupp comes into form soon for this team to add an amplified juice to this offense, and the defense needs to step up for them to have a chance. Other than that, let's move to rank 18. In the same city, we have the Los Angeles Chargers. Got their first win of the season against the Minnesota Vikings at Minnesota, as they're desperate fighting for a win. So even though that's the Chargers' first win of the season and sole win against an 0-3 opponent now, the Minnesota Vikings, I view, of all 0-3 opponents, was the best and still has the best chance to actually overcome their deficit and be a competitive team to maybe make wild card playoff berth. We'll see. That's a long shot. And I'm happy to say that as a Lions fan. Now moving on. Now to the teams that actually have a positive record. So the Chargers atop the teams of the losing record. I believe that's fair at number 18. Now for 17 above, all these teams have a winning record. Let's go with unfortunate news for let's go with the Tampa Bay Bucks as they just came off a loss to the Philadelphia Eagles at their home. Philadelphia put 25 on them. A.J. Brown had a great game, over 100 yards. And, yeah, the Tampa Bay Bucks, that was the first loss of the season, but have had impressive wins against Minnesota and Chicago. I'm calling them the NFC North Killers. Hopefully they don't do that to my fellow Lions in the future game to come. I'm excited for that game. And but yeah, moving on. So that's the ranked number 17. My worst winning record team is the Tampa Bay Bucks. Now for team 16, we have the Washington Commanders, also at 2-1. I believe they're just slightly above Tampa Bay because they actually had some good games. Their first two games. Their recent loss was the Buffalo Bills. I think that's a little more impressive than. I mean, even though they got blown out, I think their wins are more impressive than the Bucks because the Bucks have beat the two winless teams. That's their two sole wins. Luckily, they played them at the beginning of the season to look so good, undefeated. Unfortunately, both of these teams' undefeated streaks were ended. Actually, a lot of these teams about to read had their streaks ended. Also, the Atlanta Falcons by the Detroit Lions ending that. Exciting news for me. I didn't sweat nothing before that game or during the game or none. It was clear cut hands. Detroit had it down. But yeah, not to take away from the Atlanta Falcons. Let's talk about them at rank 15. Even though they come from a loss from my Detroit Lions, their first two wins of the year, beating the the Green Bay Packers, was great in a tight knit game. And then beating their fellow rival team, the Panthers, is the first game of the season is always tough, no matter who your rival team is and how they fare as the season goes on. So that's why I put Atlanta there. We'll see how they fare in the matches to come. Now we have at rank 14, we have the Colts. They just had a great overtime win over the Baltimore Ravens in a tight little seemed like a field goal contest, but yeah, it was a tight knit game. Minshew Mania stepped in as Anthony Richardson was out. Hopefully Anthony Richardson comes back next week because they need to take his lumps to develop, as I said about Bryce Young earlier. But Minshew Mania is a great backup quarterback, just like the Red Rifle is for Bryce Young. Other than that, we're going on to the Packers, who I have them at rank 13. They just had a great win against the New Orleans Saints, ending their win streak. It was unfortunate for them. They came back for victory. Now they play the Detroit Lions in this Thursday night game coming up, and that's going to be a fantastic matchup. I can't wait to see who comes out on top of that. I'm rooting for the Lions in that one, so that's why I have them ranked at 13. That's gonna, they deserve to be there. And we'll see if they beat us. They're definitely gonna climb the polls, and we beat them. We're definitely gonna climb the polls. It's definitely a great matchup for both teams to actually evaluate where they are in this division and who is on top of this division, as this is the fight for the division with this game on the line this Thursday. Let's go. I'm excited. Now, above the Packers, I know it might be controversial. I have the New Orleans Saints, even though they just lost to the Packers. Their first two wins of the season were impressive compared to the Packers. As the Packers I named, they beat the Atlanta Falcons. And so the Saints actually beat, who did they actually just beat? I believe they came over top. I know they just lost to the Packers, but what was I going to say? They beat the Panthers on Monday night. That was a great win with Derek Carr. And, that's a winless team. But it was a rivalry game, so that's why I put them there. But New Orleans Saints, they have a stingy defense. Jameis Winston's going to step in and elevate that team, and I can't wait to see how he goes. He's going to be airing it out, and they have the weapons. And Alvin Kamara is back, so that team is rolling. That's why I put him at 12. I think the momentum for them is at a better rate than the Packers, even though the Packers defeated them in this recent contest. Now, for my rank 11, this team did not break into my top 10. It was unfortunate, but I put the Pittsburgh Steelers, even though they beat the Las Vegas Raiders. They had the unfortunate loss to the what was I going to say? They got blown out. Who was the week one team that blew them out? That caught them blindsided. The San Francisco 49ers at their home. So that left a sting. But other than that, they've bounced back, which is great. But I'm going to leave them at 11, and we'll see how they fare in the weeks to come. Now for ranked 10, I have the Baltimore Ravens. I have them at there, and I believe they're great. Even though they just had a loss against the Indianapolis Colts in overtime, I believe they'll bounce back. Lamar Jackson's looking fantastic. Zay Flowers is looking good as a rookie. There's got some great stride. Now, Raekwon Smith, the Bears' biggest let go of a player on a team, why they're in the situation they are, as he is shining in that uniform and making that defense legitimate and carrying it to heights. Even though I can't say new heights because we all know their acumen and renown before with Ray Lewis prior. But we'll see. He can catch up to that. So now moving on, let's go to rank 9 as we got the Buffalo Bills. They just had an impressive blowout over Washington as they went 37-3. It was fantastic to see them bounce back. They're rolling right now. I was about to say Dalvin Cook. James Cook had a great 100-yard game rushing and was in full stride. Gabe Davis got a catch. Stephon Diggs over 100 yards. And, yeah, I put them right at 9. Now for 8, it was torn. I put the Dallas Cowboys. They just lost to the Arizona Cardinals. And the Bills lost to the Jets. You could debate which is the worse team. But at least the Bills, it's a rival team. Cowboys, they don't have. It's not a rivalry with Arizona. It's like what's happening here. I'm gonna put them at 8. We'll see how they fare in the weeks to come. I think they'll I think they'll make the play. It's not defeating. We shouldn't overreact. They should bounce back. Now for the team, I believe should have been maybe higher. I was trying not to be biased, but I put them at 7, and I put Detroit Lions. And hear me out. I put them there. We beat the Atlanta Falcons. We beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And we're the only team to beat them. And maybe we might be the only team that does for the rest of the year. We'll see. But Detroit Lions, I'm putting them at 7. And we'll see against the Packers where I put them at afterwards. And I'll move them up. If they beat the Packers, we own the North. I'm definitely going to move them up in my rankings. Now, this pains me to say it. I ranked this team above the Lions, and this is where it hurts. I put the Cleveland Browns at 6. It pains me to say it, but I had to do them justice after their dominant win over Tennessee Titans was in great fashion, and we'll see how they fare in the weeks to come. That defense looks fantastic. I love Jim Schwartz. I have great respect for him as a former Lions head coach, and it's that team seems good. The only thing we'll see, the only thing holding back is Deshaun Watson. We'll see what happens, where they take him. But other than that, now for my top 5, I have the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, they beat us. All right, you put them at 5. All right, just that right there. All right, they beat the Rams. Okay, no, they didn't. They lost to the Rams at home. What am I saying? Other than that, yeah, who they just beat just this last coming week, Seattle. I'm blinking here. I don't know, but I know they beat us, and that sting, and I can't forget that. And it sucks. I just hope Seattle can keep the momentum going because they beat us. That means they're good. They gotta keep it. If they just lose everything out, it makes my ranking of the Lions not as legitimate as I hold above. Even though we lost them. So let's just move on from that. I don't want to get carried away. I'm not butthurt about our recent loss or anything like that. But we got a rank 4. We got the Kansas City Chiefs as they just came off an impressive win over the Chicago Bears. Not really, but hey, they crushed them. They did what they needed to do. And they look impressive. Travis Kelce's back and looking great, and they're moving on. And so that's my last team that had with a 1-loss record on their thing with the winning, as they all had winning records. So that is. I put Chiefs above the rest of them, and I think that's pretty fair. Now, for my top 3, these are all the undefeated teams, as I went for the 49ers, and they are fantastic, looking great. Brock Purdy, they just beat the New York Giants on primetime. It was looking good. He had Brock Purdy had 310 yards and 2 passing touchdowns. And yeah, we'll see. It doesn't look like they'll be stopped. And the same for these next 2 teams. I don't know who's going to stop them other than the teams I'm talking about. The top 3 can take on the top 3. Other than that, I don't see anyone else that can. So now we got the Philadelphia Eagles at 2. They just had a great win over Tampa Bay Bucks on Monday Night Primetime. Ended their undefeated season. A.J. Brown had over 100 yards, as I was saying earlier. Jalen Hurts looking fantastic as always. DeAndre Swift, man, they're using him. I'm happy for him. He is rocking. He looks like an RB1 out there. Like, they need to give him some more touches for sure. And so I had them at 2, and then at 1 I have the Miami Dolphins after putting a 70 burger on the Denver Broncos. And yeah, if you do that, I'm putting you at 1. Even you had some losses. That's just crazy. I've just never seen that in my lifetime. But so I'm going with the Miami Dolphins, and I don't know who can stop them. But they have a great matchup as this week coming up with the Buffalo Bills. We'll see what happens between the two. It's a great matchup and a great evaluation for both teams, and who will win the AFC East will be determined by that game. Very excited. But yeah, I'm picking the Dolphins in that, and just see my pick'ems as I'll be going live tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern to do all my Week 4 NFL week game pick'ems, and very excited about to do. And can't wait to see you all there. Welcome all feedback. And hope you all loved my power rankings compared to other power rankings that are shown on other channels. And I went by a record and I evaluated, click on down, and that's what I see. So we'll see as this power rankings changes as the weeks goes on, as I'll keep you up to date. Thank you for checking out my episode, and tune in for the live stream. And also, I totally forgot to say, I can't wait for the Toy Story. Woo! The Toy Story game. It's going to be happening at 9 a.m. on Disney Plus. Or you can watch ESPN, just watch the normal game. But basically what's happening is the game is going to be rendered how do I say this, in a CGI format in real time as the game's going on, and can't wait to watch, as it's Jacksonville Atlanta Falcons, I believe, is the game. And tune in to that, as I will also be informing you tomorrow on my live stream about my live stream reaction to that Toy Story game rendering, as it'll be the first time it's ever been done this way, and I can't wait to actually see it for the first time, as I'm an ecstatic fan of the NFL and Pixar's Toy Story. Can't wait for you all to join me, and catch you all then. Thank you for tuning in.